Hi everyone, welcome to our monthly Lunch and Learn. This month we're going to be talking about healthy eating and food preparation and how to have a healthy diet. My name is Gina Ferreri. I'm the Senior Development Specialist here at Rumsey. I want to welcome all of you here today for Maria Falzone's presentation. Maria is a registered dietitian, certified dietitian nutritionist, clinical nutrition manager, food and nutrition department here at the hospital. As you know, there's a lot of great things going on here at Rumsey, the emergency department, construction, and a lot of other great things going on. So soon enough, we'll be having some structural displays of what's going to be going on, and the steel will be put in, and a lot of exciting things. So thank you all for joining us, and here's Maria.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Rumsey. I got a chance to speak to some of you before we started today, and today's topic is why bother eating a healthy diet. Now there are so many books out there, so much diet advice. Who do we listen to? What do we follow? And we've heard of the paleo diet, the keto diet. What are these diets? Are they healthier for us, and why are they so popular? So I want to begin with the basics. So why bother eating a healthy diet? A healthy diet is a balanced diet. I'll get into what a balanced diet is. Okay, so why bother eating a healthy diet? Eating a healthy diet reduces your risk for diseases such as heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and cancer. Now, there are risk factors that we cannot control. We cannot control our genetic makeup. Our genes, we cannot do anything about that. But the risk factors we can control are, number one, health, a healthy weight. We have the power to control our weight. We have the power to lose weight. When we don't work hard at maintaining weight, we can gain weight. But one of the factors one of the controllable risk factors is maintaining a healthy weight. We also can control our cholesterol levels. Now, cholesterol is only found in animal products. So French fries, potato chips, potatoes are not animals, so they do not have cholesterol. They do have fat, okay, because they're fried. But cholesterol is only in animal products. God bless you. So, just remember, of course, eggs, milk, beef, veal, chicken, fish, they all have cholesterol. They're all animals, they're not plants. Maintaining normal blood pressure. Blood pressure. We need to control our blood pressure. Blood pressure, high blood pressure, hypertension is known as the silent killer. It leads to other diseases, and it increases our risk for heart disease. So it's very important to maintain a normal blood pressure. And the way to do that is controlling our salt and sodium intake. Try not using the salt shaker or adding salt when we're cooking. So I'll get into more detail about salt and sodium. Maintaining normal blood glucose levels. Many people are confused about sugar and the sugars in food and the natural sugar in fruit. So I hope I will explain and clear that confusion up. And increase daily physical activity. I purposely did not use the word exercise because the word exercise, people think, oh, I have to join a gym, or I have to buy expensive gym equipment. No, increasing daily physical activity is analyze your daily activity, what you do now. And if you want to lose weight, you have to do something in addition to your daily routine. Now, if you're fairly active, your metabolism adjusted to your daily activity. If you slow down, you will gain weight if you don't change your diet. And if you increase your physical activity, you will lose weight. Now, I'll give you a typical example on Staten Island. I have friends that used to work in Manhattan, and commuting, you're burning calories. You're getting off the subway, you're getting off the bus, you have to walk to your destination. So walking burns calories. Well, now, after the kids came, they got a job on Staten Island, so they drive to work now. And they drive into the parking lot and go into the building. They did not change their diet, but they gained weight. What happened was they decreased their physical activity just by changing jobs. So we have to be aware of our daily routine and take into consideration that our body is used to what we do every day. And to lose weight, we need to increase our daily physical activity. What does that mean? Just park your car an extra block or two. When you go food shopping, park your car at the end of the parking lot. When you're done with the wagon, bring it back to the front of the store, which is the right thing to do. And just a few minutes here, a few minutes there add up. When you're chit-chatting on the phone, stand up, walk around. Our phones are now mobile phones. We should be mobile as well, burning calories as we're on the phone. So on the phone. Also at work, instead of emailing the person in the next office, get up and talk to them. Like these little tricks, standing, walking, is what I'm talking about, increasing daily physical activity. It has to be incorporated into your daily routine, just the way we make time to brush our teeth and take a shower. And these are lifestyle changes, and these are changes that you're not going to do just for a month, and then after the wedding, you wanted to lose a few pounds for the wedding that's coming up, and then after the wedding, we're back to our old habits. No, you want to do this for the rest of your life to maintain a healthy lifestyle. All right, so what should I eat? This patient confused about all the diet advice that's out there, says to his doctor, everyone knows food is bad for you, but I don't know what else to eat. So he thinks all food is bad. And with all the media and all the information that's out there, you can't blame him. It's very confusing what to eat. This is the beautiful Halle Berry. She's an actress. And she's confused about carbohydrates. She's on the cover of our Nutrition Action newsletter that I get. And she believes that carbohydrates are bad. They're not healthy for you. So she is on the keto diet, the ketogenic diet. The keto diet is high in fat. It includes cream, it includes butter, it includes fatty meats, it includes cheese. And everyone's talking about this keto diet. And a lot of Staten Islanders are on it as well. The side effects, bad breath, bloating, constipation, and they're calling it the keto flu. People know about this keto flu, and they're still trying this diet because the celebrities, they're thin, they're slim, and who doesn't want to look like a celebrity? But the scientific evidence to support this diet is not strong. And the people who are on this diet, their LDLs, the bad cholesterol, are elevated. And we have total cholesterol, we have the HDLs, which are the good cholesterol. The LDLs are the bad cholesterol. So these high-fat food that dominates the keto diet is elevating the bad cholesterol. So where did the ketogenic diet come from? In the early 1900s, the ketogenic diet was used to treat drug-resistant epilepsy in young children. I learned it in school, but never used it because this was used now. With medicine and nutrition, all the advances with our knowledge, we no longer, this diet is obsolete, but the celebrities started a new fad diet, a new trend. And we have LeBron James on it, and we have Kourtney Kardashian, and we have Vanessa Hudgens, she's an actress from High School Musical. Kardashian admits she suffers from headaches and low energy for a couple of weeks. So who would want to follow a diet where they admit that they're suffering from headaches and low energy for a couple of weeks? And Vanessa Hudgens doesn't shy away from bacon. So of course, the people who are fans of these of LeBron James, he just likes bacon and steak, so that's why he jumped on the keto diet. But when people see this when people hear celebrities giving advice, they want to, follow. They want to be like the Kardashians, keep it up with the Kardashians. So this is where we should go. Choosemyplate.gov. It's a website with scientific, strong information on nutrition. The USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, supports Choosemyplate.gov. There's a lot of studies out there. There are many studies out there. One day, chocolate is good for you. The next study, chocolate is bad for you. This study says coffee is good for you. The other study says coffee is bad for you. These are just studies. Now, the studies where the chocolate was good for you was funded by Mars and Hershey's. Okay? And the same thing with the coffee companies and wine. The wine industry, wine is good for you. It has that chemical resveratrol, okay? it's in the skin of the red grapes, right? So red wine prevents heart disease in Italy and Greece. Let me tell you, you should be eating the grapes, not the wine. Okay, not drinking the wine. The resveratrol is in the skin of the grapes. Now, alcohol, we do not have a metabolic pathway. Our bodies do not have a metabolic pathway for alcohol. We have one for carbohydrates, we have one for fat, we have one for proteins. When we ingest alcohol, it goes into fat metabolism. Our bodies recognize alcohol as fat. The first stage of liver disease is fatty liver, okay? And alcoholics who consume too much alcohol, their first stage is fatty liver. That's fat accumulation in the liver. Also, excessive alcohol intake elevates triglycerides. Triglycerides are fat in the blood, okay? So this liquid that looks like grape juice is not as healthy as the wine industry that supports the studies. We'll get a little bit more technical. Cardiologists might recommend for their patients to drink a glass or two. And I'm not knocking alcohol. Moderate drinking is okay. 1 glass for women and 2 glasses for men. However, it's the excessive alcohol consumption that increases our risk for cancer and heart disease and weight gain. So the HDLs, the good cholesterol, they say that wine elevates the good cholesterol. It does elevate HDL, it's true, which is the good cholesterol. However, what the studies don't tell you is that it elevates HDL3, because HDLs has many subfractions. But it's the HDL2 that's beneficial in heart disease. So having an elevated HDL3 means nothing. But do you see how the wine industry and marketing twists the truth? It elevates HDLs, it's true, and HDLs is the good cholesterol, that's true. But they don't tell you that it elevates HDL3, which means nothing. HDL2 is what we want elevated, and alcohol or wine does not do that. So a little chemistry there, but I hope I got the message across. Everything in moderation. 1 glass, 1 glass for women, 2 glasses for men, fine. Once we go above 3 drinks, we enter risk for breast cancer, risk for prostate cancer. Yes.
And now, are we specifically talking about red wine, or it doesn't matter whether it's white, pink?
Red,
Just red wine.
Red has the chemical resveratrol. Yeah, so red wine. So what I'm trying to say is everything in moderation. A glass of wine, harmless. 2 glasses of wine for men, harmless. It's abuse. Abuse of food, abuse of wine, abuse of liquor. That's what causes problems. So what we'll walk away at the end of the day is variety is the spice of life, everything in moderation. But let me go through the details as I continue. Now, there are so many food lists. I have handouts there. There are so many food lists and, a lot of memorizing to do. The simplest way to teach nutrition is get a 9-inch plate, okay? And this diagram, this is the way we need to eat. Now, Americans, we don't eat like this. We get a porterhouse steak, and our porterhouse steak takes up the whole plate. And the salad's on the side, and all the other food are on the side. So that's where we go wrong, okay? We think we need protein, and, we think we need a lot of protein. Actually, we need to make our plate 50% fruit or vegetables. So half the plate, see the broccoli, see the salad, 50% of your plate should be vegetables. The other corner is the starch. It could be rice, it could be pasta, it could be potatoes, it could be corn. Corn's a starchy vegetable. And then the protein, do you see how much the protein is? We do not need, the body needs protein, but too much protein does not go to our biceps and triceps. Extra protein that gets converted to fat, okay? Unless we use it as energy. So our body needs protein, and we can, becoming deficient in protein will weaken our immune system, but too much of a good thing is not good. So there's protein in vegetables. There's protein in the chicken. There's a few grams of protein in the rice as well. So Americans think we need more protein than we actually consume. This piece of chicken is about the size of a deck of cards. So keep the size of a deck of cards. The amount of protein we should have at lunch and dinner. Breakfast is I'll get into breakfast. Carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates? Fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, and the grains. Those are our primary source of carbohydrates. They have vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. Scientists are studying antioxidants. They're preventing, the studies that are going on now, they're finding that these antioxidants are preventing cancer, are preventing heart disease, because they're the pollutants we inhale or the bad stuff that we eat, the antioxidants protects the cells. Okay, so these antioxidants are showing, I'm sure you heard the word antioxidants. They're showing some, not only providing us nutrition, vitamin A, vitamin C, potassium, they're also helping us prevent disease. So this diagram, there's a strong correlation with the color of the vegetable and the fruit and the nutritional value. The darker the fruit color, the more nutritional value it has. Iceberg lettuce is light green, low in nutritional value. Darker green romaine or spinach, kale, the dark green are the antioxidants. That's what are the higher nutritional value. Now, if you like I like iceberg lettuce, so I'll mix it with my romaine. So I like the crispiness. I like iceberg because it's crispy, but I know it's lower nutritional value. But I'll have the iceberg, romaine, and and spinach, just because I know they have a higher nutritional value. Today's watermelon, it's a recipe made with watermelon and feta cheese, something different. Okay, the redness in the watermelon, lycopene, is the antioxidants that help. A lot of studies on that's helping prevent cancer. So watermelon, tomatoes, anything that's reddish in color has this chemical lycopene, which is they're doing a lot of studies on lycopene. There are so many antioxidants, but there are the most important one. Lycopene is like high on the list. They're doing a lot of studies with the lycopene. Tomatoes, anything that's red in color. So the darker the red, the more nutritional value. And beets. A lot of people think that beets are high in sugar. Beets are a superfood. They are such a dark reddish purple color. And they're showing that these foods, they're doing studies that these foods have disease prevention qualities. So just remember, the darker the green, the darker the red, the darker the orange, the higher in nutritional value.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry. I know it's going to probably be a silly question, but you have green grapes, you have red grapes. Is any one particular more? Are they the same, the fruit, family?
Variety is important, so it's good that we eat both. But the red has because of this chemical resveratrol, which is shown to help in preventing heart disease, is a little bit better. But I think variety is important. I think you should eat the green grapes as well. Yeah. Okay, so carbohydrates that the actors and actresses and celebrities are promoting as bad, I'm telling you that 50% of our diet should be carbohydrates, the fruits, the vegetables, and the grains. The better grains are whole wheat bread, pumpernickel bread, bran cereal, the darker color. White bread, we don't have to eliminate. The experts say we don't have to eliminate white flour or white bread from our diet. We just have to eat less of it and more of the grains. So let's say, for example, you like whole wheat bread, but you don't like whole wheat pasta. It's okay, as long as you eat the whole wheat bread and other things that are grains. It's just that 100% of the diet does not have to be all whole wheat. You can have white. Yes. I
have pre-diabetes. Does that mean I have diabetes for the rest of my life? Because I'm told that stay away from sugars and grapes.
Right.
They say I can't eat grapes no more.
Well, following the diet may, if you're pre-diabetes, so you might be showing early stages, but the diet may prevent you from getting worse. Okay. So that's what diet does.
So the grapes, I can't have no more grapes?
You can have grapes. Yeah, I'll get into exact amounts. Okay. If you want a number, 15 grapes is a serving. carbohydrates fuel the body and provide energy. So carbohydrates are important. Our brain only accepts glucose. Our brain is the most demanding organ in our body that requires glucose constantly, even when we're sleeping. So if we're depriving our body from carbohydrates, we're depriving our brain from glucose. So what the body does is, all right, you're gonna have a low carbohydrate, you're not gonna give me glucose. It's going to take our protein in our body, our lean body mass, and convert it to glucose. So the brain dominates. The brain is going to get its glucose, and if you're not going to eat it in the diet, it's going to take away from your muscle or the protein that you're eating in the diet. Carbohydrates are high in fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Now, fruit averages 80 to 85% water, okay? And vegetables are 90 to 95% water. So they keep you hydrated, especially during this heat waves that we're having. If you're not the best water drinker in the world, and you eat fruit and vegetables, it will help you maintain hydration. Now, that's going to explain the confusion with the natural sugar in fruit and concentrated sweets, the candies, the cookies, and ice cream. Many people are confused when they say, no sugar in your diet. The fruit has natural sugar, but it's diluted. The fruit is 80 to 85% water, so it's not a concentrated sweet, it's a diluted sweet, so to speak. And it also has fiber, so when someone with diabetes eats fruit, it's not going to shoot up their blood sugar as if they're having a piece of candy or a piece of, or something that's high in sugar. The water content and the fiber is going to slow down the absorption of the sugar in the natural fruit. That's why it's better for someone with diabetes to have fresh fruit over juice, because the juice right away, when someone's having low blood sugar, the first thing you do is run for orange juice or give them a packet of Domino sugar. But a fruit that has water and fiber is going to slow down the digestion and the absorption of fruit. So it is not true that diabetics cannot have fruit. That's not true. They can. And whole grains, fruit, vegetables, beans, and legumes are all in the carbohydrate family. Now, beans, chickpeas, lentils, they have carbohydrate and they also have protein. So vegans and vegetarians that want to cut away from meat, their diet is higher in beans and the chickpeas and lentils and peas. They're getting, because they know they have protein and they're getting their protein from the beans group. Protein sources: fish, chicken, steak, beans, nuts, eggs. They're all good sources of protein. And yes, our body does need the protein. Protein, amino acids. You hear the young kids in high school and college, they want to take these amino powders that are sold at the gym. You don't need these unless you have a digestive disorder. You do not need amino acid supplements in the diet. The American diet is already too high in protein. Our portions are already big just from normal eating, and we do not need to supplement with amino acids. The amino acids is for a patient in the hospital who is having a problem absorbing. They're having problems with their intestines. So that's what amino powders are for. If you're a healthy person and you can tolerate eating all types of food, you don't need the amino acid supplements.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Which is the more protein, in fish, chicken, or meat?
The same.
The same
7 grams per ounce. They all have 7 grams of protein per ounce. So, the smallest piece of chicken that I showed before is only 3 ounces. That's already 21 grams of protein right there. Just that we eat more because Americans, our portions are way bigger than the portion I'm showing you now. So protein deficiency is not a problem in this country. We have a problem of overnutrition. We overeat, not so much, undereating. So amino acids are important in our body. When we eat protein, it breaks it down to the amino acids, and the amino acids, repair our cells, provide structure to muscle, and helps our immune system as well fight off infection. So yes, protein is needed, but only 15 to 20% of our total calories should be from protein. And Americans, we consume a lot more just like the plate I showed you before, we have protein covering that whole plate. And the salad's on the side in a salad bowl. So we I think our problem is more overconsumption rather than a protein deficiency.
So, people that go to like gym and go work out, like somebody like me, they're really into like these protein shakes.
Yes.
How are they for you?
I'd rather have you eat the calories than drink the calories. Psychologically, the reason why these shake diets don't work, because you're depriving, it's psychological. You're depriving yourself from chewing. When you don't chew, it leads to binge eating later on. So chewing is very important. So I'd rather have people chew their calories than drink their calories, because a drink is a drink and you felt like you didn't eat anything. So it's good for a couple of weeks, but later on, psychologically, you're depriving yourself. That leads to binge eating. So that's why Slim Fast, OptiFast, MetaFast, none of these programs worked, because you're doing it for a short period of time. You deprived yourself from eating all these weeks, and now all of a sudden it leads to this disordered eating. And that's why I'm not, for one meal, yeah. On the go, I have nothing against it, but your other meals should have solids where you're chewing. But a lot of people, they have drinks 3 times a day for weight loss, I keep using Slim Fast because that's the most popular brand. Yes.
Why the soy milk is not popular anymore? My husband is started with that. The doctor said no regular milk, soy milk. Now he changed it. Say no good soy milk. You got to drink almond milk. What's the difference?
They're both fine. It's not true that soy milk is not good. Vegetarians and vegans consume soy milk. There's always, like I said, these studies that throw everybody off. But a study is not a law. It's just a study. That's why when, I hear it all the time on the news, like the example for chocolate being good, being bad. Who's doing the study? So the doctor probably heard, read about a study, and in the study, soy milk was not good. But that's not true. Soy milk.
So according to you, either one is good.
Yes. According to me, change. Variety. Variety is the spice of life. Buy the almond milk. When that finishes, the next time go buy soy milk. Change it up.
Same thing with the coffee. Long time ago, it's no good. And now say coffee good for the heart. Making people confused.
Yes. That's what it's all about.
And what do you think? It's good?
So coffee, the studies are showing under 4 cups is safe. But our cups in the cafeteria are 16 and 20 ounces. A cup is only 8 ounces. So, you go to Starbucks and get a Venti, is it called? The Venti, the 20 ounce ones, 8, 16, that's 2.5 cups right there. So, when they're talking about 4 cups a day, we're talking about a cup is 8 ounces.
If you go to Italy, a small coffee like that is thicker like a honey.
Yeah, espresso, yeah. But in Italy, they don't drink 4 or 5. They drink 1 and they go. Right?
So is there a difference? I'm sorry, Ms. Malek.
It's okay.
Is there a difference between low-fat milk, half and half?
Yeah,
everybody has their
big
choices,
time.
But is there a difference? Is one better than the other?
Skim and 1% are the lowest in fat. Whole milk is equivalent to skim and 2 pats of butter.
Oh.
Yeah. So, whole milk. Half and half is half whole milk and a half cream. So that's not good.
And so do we want to stay away from that?
Yes, we do. The only ones that should be consuming whole milk are children under age 2. Pediatrics, whole milk is best for children because they need the fat for brain development. So under the age of 2, the pediatrician will not tell a parent to switch to 1% or skim milk. They need the whole milk. But for us, I'd rather save the 2 pats of butter. I'd rather have the skim milk and save the 2 pats of butter for my bread than to drink it in the whole milk. So does that make sense? But they all have the calcium and the same amount of protein. Yeah.
What do you think about oat milk?
Oat milk. No.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Variety. Yeah. Oat milk is also good. Oats help transport cholesterol out of the body. So again, I agree. I believe in changing it up. Yeah.
Is there a certain amount that you need to during the course of the day, like in a diet, of how much? Like people have 3 cups of coffee a day. They want milk in those 3 cups of coffee. Is that?
Yes, I'm getting there.
I'm sorry.
No, it's a good question. Americans, we do not consume enough calcium and vitamin D. So we have osteoporosis in this country. Osteoporosis is from a calcium, not only from a chronic disease, but you can also develop osteoporosis of a lifetime of not eating dairy products. So we need dairy to prevent osteoporosis, bone health, and also they're doing studies that there's a strong correlation with high blood pressure and low calcium intake. So calcium, Harvard's doing a lot of studies with calcium and vitamin D right now. And for some reason in the studies, the consumers the people in the study who drank milk had better blood pressures than the people who did not drink milk. So it's calcium now and vitamin D that Harvard is doing a lot of studies. And according to Harvard, you know how calcium is so important? According to Harvard, they're more concerned with the vitamin D. If you don't go out in the sun, your body does not make enough vitamin D. So when you go for blood work, your vitamin D levels may be low, and the doctor may ask you to take a supplement, especially if you don't go out often. So yes.
I'm taking a multivitamin.
That's good. A little bit of everything. That's the best. I'd rather have you take a multivitamin than a high dose of one vitamin without doctor's advice.
Thank you.
So so 20% of our diet should be from protein. I'm repeating what I'm saying. Is more protein more better? The answer is no. Protein is hot, like in the supermarket. It's like April Fool's Day every day because they put protein, the word protein on everything to sell. There are also protein cakes. So since when is cake a high source of protein? Muscle brownie. So people are gonna think, oh, if I eat this brownie, I'm gonna gain muscle. Nope. The only way you gain muscle is putting resistance. Exercise, strength training. You want to increase your muscle mass? Strength training and exercise. The diet is not going to build your biceps and your triceps or whatever muscles you're trying to build. So this is all marketing, by me, by my, this is all junk food, and they're throwing the words protein and muscle. Yeah, when you make cookies or when we bake cookies or brownies, we're putting eggs in there and milk. Yeah, but there's 2 cups of sugar in the recipe as well. So yeah, it does have protein. It's made with eggs. So they're not lying, but these are not high protein quality food that we should. But, we have to be careful when we go food shopping. Fats. Fats have a bad name. Our body needs fat. Many of our hormones in our body need fat for synthesis. So we can't go on a 0% fat diet. But Americans eat too much fat. We like our French fries, we like our fried food, and too much fat is no good. So there's a lot, everybody knows about the omega-3 fatty acids that are in fish, and the oily fish are good for you. So fatty fish is helps prevent heart disease. Cheese, it's better to go for the low fat or the fat-free types. Butter, use sparingly, but the recommendations from the expert is to use a reduced fat margarine that's spreadable. Margarine? Yeah, even though it's chemicals, I know, but the experts that know more than me are recommending the new margarine that's soft and spreadable. Avocados, big boom on avocados. They're classified as a fat. 1/3 of an avocado is 80 calories. So the whole avocado is 240. People are eating them like apples, and I'm just like, no, they're a fat source. They're good for you. They got good fats, but it will contribute to weight gain if you're consuming too many calories than your body needs. Nuts and seeds, very healthy for you. They have protein, they have carbohydrate, and they have fat. Actually, for a diabetic, it is the best snack because it controls in between meals. It controls your blood sugar because it also has fiber, protein, carbohydrate, fat. Nuts and seeds are so healthy for us. However, they're nutrient dense, they're high in nutritional value, they're also high in calories. So the saying is, have nuts, but don't go nuts. Okay, so sprinkle them on your yogurt or on your salad, but don't eat them out of the jar. You know what they do in Europe? Europeans, they don't buy shelled nuts like we do. They buy them whole and they crack them and they make the nice mess in front of them. Do you know psychologically when you see that big mess, you eat less? Then when we eat them shelled, the Planters nuts, we're going for the whole can, But the Europeans all buy, the nuts in the shells, and they got their nutcrackers and the basket in the middle of the table. And I noticed that, most Europeans who came to this country do that. And they also don't buy cut up fruit. They cut their own fruit. They don't, I like to buy the cut up watermelon because I don't like to lug that whole thing and make a mess on my countertop. But Europeans, they cut their own fruit because it's fresher. When the store cuts it, who knows what time they cut it in the morning? By the time you buy it, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And even when you buy the watermelon, it's all watery at the bottom. So, and you know what? Italy and Greece, they have the lowest risk of many diseases, and it's all about that freshness and help, not so much, less on the processing. So fats get a bad rap, but we need them. Our hormones need them. We just have to eat less of them. And, they also protect our organs. They keep you warm. And fats are also needed for absorption of other nutrients. Dietary fats are found in oils, nuts, butter, milk, cheese, meat, poultry, and fish. There are the good fats and there are the bad fats. Saturated fat is a fat that's a solid at room temperature. When you take a stick of butter and we put it on the counter because we want to soften it so we could spread it later, it doesn't melt into a liquid at room temperature. So that's how you know it's a saturated fat. Also, the fat that's marbled in red meat, that's a saturated fat. At room temperature, it doesn't melt into a liquid. So that's a saturated fat, and that's the fat we need to eat less of. Monounsaturated fat, the olive oil, peanut oil, those are the monounsaturated fats. The polyunsaturated fats are corn oil and vegetable oil. Now you're going to ask me which one's better. All three. I mean, we need not that saturated fat is better. Sometimes there are healthy foods that have saturated fat in it. So what we just have to do is eat smaller portions of it because it does have other nutritional value. But the experts say don't make it all olive oil. Have corn oil or vegetable oil in the house as well as the mono. So it's mono and poly. So both are necessary because one has one essential fatty acid and the other one has the other essential fatty acid. So we need both of them in the diet. So not one is better than the other. Dairy. We eat, as Americans, our dairy consumption is low. How do we know? We have osteoporosis in this country, a country of overeating, and we have calcium and vitamin deficiency. So the experts are saying where they increased it. The recommendation used to be 2 a day. Now they increased it to 3 a day, but not the whole milk. Go for the fat-free or the 1%. The same thing with the cheeses and the same thing with the yogurt. We have to be more mindful. Now with cheese, I'm just talking about one slice. Just add one slice to your sandwich, not a quarter pound. That's what we have. That's where we go wrong. Same thing with the yogurt. Try to go for the low fat or the fat-free. But the experts are saying, and why are they saying? Because we have a country of overnutrition. And, how do we have a calcium and vitamin D deficiency when we eat too much? Okay. I'm not saying, the word there is reduce. I didn't say eliminate or avoid. So reduce added sugars. Our problem is, if we had 2 cookies here and there, that's not the problem. But when we have Oreos, we have to eat the whole sleeve, okay? When we have brownies, we bake brownies, we eat the whole pan. It's the abuse of these sugars that cause problems. Not having 1 or 2 cookies, not having a piece of chocolate, not having 4 or 5 Skittles. We overconsume. That soda, drinking sugar, I don't get it. I'd rather chew my sugar, or I'd rather chew my dessert than drink it, because a can of soda can have up to 9 teaspoons of sugar. So I can't see how, but it's some people, they have to have it. 1 donut, 1 muffin. These should be treated as luxuries. What happened is, in this country, we start eating these things every day. America runs on Dunkin', really? Every day? We're having a donut? Okay? And our coffee is not a coffee anymore. They're milkshakes. So, this is scary. This is the problem. We don't treat these as luxuries. If we have them at special occasions or every so often, they're not harmful. We abuse these, and that's why they have a bad name. Yes. Oh, my next slide. What is this sugar craving? What's it all about? Signs of sleep deprivations. Studies have shown that people who crave high sugar, high fat snacks are deprived from sleep. How do you know you're deprived from sleep? If you need the alarm to wake you up, you're not getting enough sleep. You need to wake up before the alarm. If the alarm wakes you up, you're sleep deprived. If you're addicted to caffeine, if you cannot function in the morning without a cup of caffeine, coffee, that's a sign of sleep deprivation. Feeling uptight or depressed, and frequent illnesses also. It's important to recognize a craving for high sugar, high caffeine, and high calorie drinks when sleep deprived. And when this behavior or craving is acknowledged, healthier food selections can be made. So you need to make a conscious effort and say, okay, I'm sleep deprived, and that's why I'm craving this. Okay, and the caption says, I was so tired at work, the other nurses had to revive me with CPR, coffee, Pepsi, and Red Bull. Okay, my next slide. Okay, there's nothing good about Monster, Red Bull, or the 5-hour energy drink. Actually, these drinks have brought people to the ER, and some have died. Teenagers are mixing these drinks with alcohol, okay? And there have been fatalities amongst teenagers. So there's nothing good to say about these drinks. All they do is contribute to weight gain. They range from 17 to 14 teaspoons of sugar, and they're high in caffeine. Now, we drink coffee, but coffee is not as dangerous. You know why? See that little 5-hour energy? They were drinking it as shots. 215 milligrams of caffeine all at once. When we drink coffee, how do we drink it? We sip it. Big difference. The heart can handle when we sip caffeine, not when we're doing shots, 215 milligrams at one time. So these drinks have done nothing but contribute to weight gain and bringing people to the ER, and a few silly teenagers actually died. So I have nothing good to say about these drinks.
What about like the energy bars, like the power bars? What about
They are glorified candy bars. They do have, there are some better than others. The ones that are the best are the ones that have the whole nuts. The ones that, if it has less than 7 grams of sugar, they're okay. But some have 10, 20 grams of sugar. That leads me, how many grams of sugar is safe? The American Heart Association says 30 grams of sugar, but a Chobani yogurt could have 20. So there it is right there.
30 a day?
30 grams of sugar a day.
A day.
For weight loss, 20 grams. So, you think it's a lot? No, a Chobani yogurt with fruity yogurt is 16 grams. You think you're eating healthy buying a Chobani Greek yogurt. There's hidden sugars. Life cereal doesn't, it's not Frosted Flakes. It's got 8 grams of sugar there. So the children's, we have children, they need some sweetness, 10 grams and under. To be 0 grams is ridiculous, but 10 grams and under. So we don't have to be 0 grams of sugar, but 20 for weight loss, 30 for health reasons. And save them for the hidden sugars. Eating is a pleasure, and to deprive ourselves from food that we like is going to lead to disordered eating later on. That's how it's psychological. It's not just nutrition. It's also psychological. So we deprive ourselves 1 time, 2 times, 5 times, 10, and then when we have what we like, we eat the whole thing, the whole pan, the whole cake, the whole half gallon of ice cream, whatever it is.
What about the big drink, like the stevia, all of those things?
Okay. Stevia is the best and the only one considered safe. All the others are no good. Stevia, we don't know about tomorrow, up until this day, it's declared as safe. However, the American Diabetes Association on their website allows NutraSweet, saccharin, and for their diabetic patients. So their school of thought is in moderation, it's harmless. And that's, American Diabetes Association, their recommendations are not by one person, hundreds of doctors, hundreds of nurses, registered dietitians. So they, everything in moderation, as long as you don't exceed 6 per day, 6 packets of the, But if you want to go a step further, up until today, there's nothing there's nothing negative about stevia, still considered okay. Reading nutrition facts labels. We need to read them carefully. When something is 240 calories, it's not the whole bag or the whole box. Okay, 240 calories is there's 4 servings per container, so it's just 1/4 of the box or the bag. So what you have to do is, if you want to eat the whole bag, you multiply 240 by 4, and that's 960 calories. So that's where you get fooled. And it tells you what the serving size is, 1.5 cups. It breaks down the fats. The saturated fat is 1.58%, a little high. Trans fat, the food companies are doing better with the trans fat. They realize it's dangerous. What's the trans fat? The hydrogenated oil in baked goods. So the companies have, trans fat has a lot of, has a bad reputation, and it's also classified as unhealthy, but the food companies are getting better and better. On more labels, you will see 0 grams of trans fat.
And all those readings are per portion, right?
Per portion,
Not for the whole
not for the whole thing. And that's where we go wrong. Even like a small bag of pretzels, serving 2. So you're supposed to share that small bag of pretzels with 2 people. So the thing is, look at the calories and then look at this how many servings per container. So saturated fat, it has a little bit of saturated fat, this item, only 5 milligrams of cholesterol. Sodium, a high sodium product is 400 or more milligrams. That's classified as a high sodium product. A product 130 milligrams or less is a low sodium product. So if someone is put on a 2-gram sodium diet, you're allowed 2,000 milligrams a day. Some patients go home, when they're diagnosed, they'll go home like, oh my gosh, I can't eat anything. There's sodium in everything. Yes, there's sodium in everything. There's even sodium in celery. Cholesterol, 300 milligrams a day on a strict, after a heart attack, the doctor probably recommends 200 milligrams. But for the general public, 300 milligrams of cholesterol per day.
I have a question regarding sodium.
Yeah.
Let's say you're looking at a nutrition fact and it says, let's say 500 sodium, but then the potassium is 600. Doesn't that override the sodium?
Yeah, potassium is good. You want
If it's high
potassium.
potassium.
Yeah,
So that's what
potassium's
I
good.
look for, when it's high potassium.
Yeah. But this product is high in sodium. It's a high
Right,
sodium.
because I noticed that the potassium is not that high, it's
Now-
only 240.
Right, in this particular item. But potassium is widespread in every, fruit, vegetables, milk, everything has potassium. Sodium, let's say, it's like, put yourself on a budget. We could all relate to money. You're allowed 2,000 milligrams of sodium a day. Let's say you consume this 430. You didn't go over 2,000 yet, but now you have to be good. You have to subtract at the other meals. You can't have another high sodium product. And that's the way nutrition works. You want to have a dessert? Okay, it has this many calories, and you want to only consume 1,500 a day. Then you subtract from the other meals. Let's say it's too late. Let's say you didn't know you were going out to eat, and you ate more today, because you didn't know you were going out to eat. You can subtract tomorrow. It's what you do over a period of time, not what you do necessarily in 24 hours. That's that'll make a difference in whatever your goal is. Whether you're calculating milligrams of sodium, whether you're calculating calories or grams of carbohydrate, you can, like being on a budget. And that's what we do in the hospital. We work with the patients. The patient wants something at a particular meal. Then the next meal, we make sure it's lower. The dietitian works with the patient to make sure we don't exceed what the doctor has ordered. Weight management cooking tips. Choose whole wheat pasta or brown rice over white as often as possible. Add vegetables when stir frying or to soups. Peas, beans, tofu, and lentils are good meat substitutes. When scrambling eggs, you don't have to remove all the yolks, but remove some of them. There is, the yolks are high in fat, but they also have high nutritional value. But, we don't want to go over, we don't want to consume too many milligrams of cholesterol. Flavor with lemon juice and herbs instead of butter, margarine, or oil. And, Americans were very good at that. We boil vegetables and then we slap butter on them and salt, and we're done. We have to learn to start with lemon juice and all different types of herbs and spices. Choose reduced fat salad dressings or use vinegar and lemon juice with just a small amount of oil so you can control the fat. Use a reduced fat margarine spread instead of regular butter, margarine, or oil. This comes from the experts. I'm skeptical about the margarine because it is made in the lab, but the reduced fat margarine spread is what they're recommending. Saute food in a small amount of wine, broth, or juice instead of using fat or oil. I have a handout on this. The green handout has everything that's on here. Bake, broil, grill, roast, or stew instead of frying, and use a non-stick cooking spray instead of butter, margarine, or shortening. A lot of controversy, chemicals. I know you guys are thinking, but this is coming from the experts. Recap, eat a variety of healthy food, emphasis on plant protein. I didn't go into much into vegetarianism because today's topic is everything. So, but definitely try to eat plant protein more often than animal protein. The new term, anyone hear about flexitarians? No. Flexitarian is a person who's a vegetarian most of the time, but will have a burger or chicken once in a while. They just try to eat plant protein more often, but they won't not eat if they're at a barbecue and there's nothing else to eat, they won't not eat it. So a flexitarian is also a healthy lifestyle. Serve 5 or more, choose 5 or more servings of fruit and vegetables a day. Again, 50% of our diet should be fruits, vegetables, and grains. Limit red meat consumption. Again, we don't have to avoid red meat, but Americans, we eat too much. We eat it too much and too often. So the recommendations are 2 to 3 times a month.
Is it better to order like if you want to eat, order well done rather than,
No, doesn't change the nutrition value.
Doesn't change the nutrition value.
No. But you don't have to eliminate it. I'll be honest with you, red meat, when we talk, now we're going to disease states, in iron deficiency anemia, where iron is hard to absorb, it's just a hard mineral to absorb. Our body absorbs iron best from red meat than any other food sources in our. But that's a disease state. Now, if I was counseling someone with iron deficiency anemia, I wouldn't be doing general guidelines. So that's a specific state. So I just want to tell you that nutritionists never use the word avoid. We say limit, because it's the total accumulation of what you eat, not one specific item that's harmful. It's what our numbers add up to. That's what's harmful. Decrease intake of unhealthy fats, which is the fat or animal fats, and replace it with healthy fats such as olives, nuts, corn, and soy. Bake, grill, or broil, and limit alcohol beverages. Again, it doesn't say avoid. Sweetened drinks, limit sodium in salty food. Do not use the salt packets. There's 500 milligrams of sodium in those little salt packets. So we could quickly add up to 2,000 milligrams just by the little salt packets. Saturated fat is a fat that's a solid at room temperature. We don't have to avoid them, but we as Americans eat too much saturated fat, so we have to cut back. Fatty or processed red meats. If you choose to eat meat, select the leaner cuts. I have the lean. If someone's interested in beef, the leaner cuts. Anything with the word round or sirloin are the leaner cuts of beef. I have a handout there. And refined carbohydrate. We have to limit full fat dairy products. There's a lot of new studies out there that full fat dairy products are good. Just ignore them. Still, the experts are still recommending low fat or fat free. And the tropical oils, I don't know when coconut oil became healthy. It's still not healthy. It's still a saturated fat. I don't know how it got into, there was a fad about it. Everybody was buying coconut oil, and I was just shaking my head. No, it's still a saturated fat. Read labels, watch your calories, eat reasonable portions, and cook and eat home. You have more control over your ingredients when you eat at home. Choose mindfully. I'm running over time. And I'll leave you with this. If you want it bad enough, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Any questions? Yes.
I have, you mentioned chocolate is not good for you, but I know there was a study, especially on the dark chocolate, like 70% or more, because they're really low in sugar.
I didn't say chocolate was bad for you. It's just that it was funded by Hershey's and Mars.
That's Hershey's, but
there is some truth.
Like 70% or more is heart healthy for you.
Yeah, I mean, just have a little square as a
more
treat.
square.
But once again, the healthy part was exaggerated.
Right.
It's still high in fat. But, like I said, variety, enjoy the food that you eat. Just treat chocolate and desserts as a luxury less often, not every day. It should be, when it's your birthday, you should have cake. It's your birthday. Save desserts, and these should be luxury items. We don't use luxury items every day, and that's the way we need to treat desserts and the treats that we like. And we shouldn't deprive ourselves from it because it's going to lead to binging later on.
So,
Any other
I have a
questions?
question.
Yes.
When you said non-fat, they take the fat out, but they put something else in, some kind of chemical, so that it tastes good.
What product?
Anything that says non-fat, when you get a salad dressing, non-fat.
Yeah.
There's more, you notice there's more sugar, there's more something.
Yeah, salad dressings, it's better vinegar and oil than
That's all I use.
Yeah,
But-
vinegar and oil.
But even yogurts,
Yeah.
they're putting more sugar. They're taking out the fat, but then they're putting in fruit.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. What you're saying is
So
true
it's
about baked goods. Years ago,
1%.
Yeah,
1%, is that good?
skim milk at 1% is good. Yes, that's what we should be doing. But you're talking. I know you're talking about baked goods. When you remove fat from a baked good, you have to increase the sugar. Otherwise, you get a hard product. So that's what you're mentioning is exactly true with baked goods, because baking is chemistry. So fat is a tenderizer. If you're going to remove the fat, you're going to get a hard product. So you have to add more sugar to tenderize the product. So that's exactly what you meant.
Thank you.
But for dairy, it's better at 1%. And
You see much difference between a regular burger, a turkey burger, or now Burger King, the vegetable burger?
okay, yeah, the vegetable burger would be a better choice.
Impossible burger.
Yeah, the vegetable burger would be a better choice. Turkey burgers are iffy. You have to make sure they don't grind the skin in there with the chopped meat. So make sure it's lean. And beef burger, 90 to 95% lean would be the better way to go. But the veggie burger probably has a high sodium content if it's coming from Burger King, but it's probably made with beans, so it would probably be the best choice out of all of them. Yes.
all my life, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I want my little snack before I go to bed. So now that I'm trying to cut it out, I don't do that. I cannot lose any weight. It's made no change. My body is used to just working all night long because I'm still eating, and now I'm not.
You have to do something your body is used to your daily routine. To lose weight, you have to do something in addition to your daily routine. Increase your daily physical activity. Even if you're active, your body adjusted and adapted.
So the fact that I stopped doing that, should I just go back to it and let my body work while I
Well,
eat?
what is it that you're eating? I mean, it depends what you choose.
I have my milk, I have my cake, I have my
Um,
ice cream.
Like I said, it's the numbers. Whatever you're eating, what those numbers add up to. If there are too many calories, then what you're burning off, you will gain. But if it's under what if you're burning more than you're eating, you will lose. So it's all about numbers, what the numbers add up to at the end of the day. An excess of 3,500 calories leads to 1 pound of body fat. So a deficit of 3,500 calories will make you lose 1 pound of body fat.
And so I've never been on any diet, but I hear friends say when they're on Weight Watchers, they're not eating enough to lose weight. What is that about?
They're filling, because the volume of vegetables that they have to eat, they can't do it. It's such a large volume, your stomach is distended and you can't fit anymore. So that's what they mean. The Weight Watchers, they're very big on unlimited vegetables. So they want you to eat
fruit.
Yeah, and the fruit. And they want you to eat all this because fruits and vegetables are the lowest calorie items in our entire food supply.
So I don't understand, why do they say they're not eating enough to lose weight?
Because they fill up so much on the vegetables, they don't have enough room for the other food.
And the protein?
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
yeah. Because it's a large salad, it's a large amount of vegetables, and it takes up a lot of volume in your stomach. So I think that's what they mean, yes.
Foods to avoid or consume when you have arthritis, specifically you have psoriatic arthritis.
Okay, the antioxidants, big on arthritis. So again, the dark green leafy vegetables, the dark red colored the antioxidants, they're doing studies for the arthritis as well. So, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Any other questions? Did I speak too much? Too long?
Oh,
Interesting, very good.
Okay, good. 'Cause I could go on. Thank you. Any
So we're
questions?
gonna take your handouts.
Yeah.
We have some giveaway bags with some more information, and then there's still some lunch and cookies and the watermelon.